Welcome to week 10. This is week 3 of the loss run data analysis. For week 10, let's just focus on the project, okay? I know last week we had some readings and I had a binder assignment. Week 10, let's just focus on, some of you fell a little behind. This is the catch-up week, everybody. That and something I started last year is I brought the new cause code portion of the analysis to this week. And what it did is it freed up more time to really dig in to figure out where the priorities are and what those future losses could be. So it's not going to be much. It's a little bit more work, and then it just kind of makes it so it's a nice cutoff that we're looking at where and what. Yeah. So again, no quiz this week. I know you're sad. And there's no binder this week. I know you're sad. The assignment will be a little bit longer because we're not only going to do where and cause, we're also going to kind of look at the company information too. I just want to kind of review that. A lot of you had made a comment in your assignment last week that things are coming along, you're doing the analysis, but you're a little worried about the interpretation. And so I'm going to try and go a little bit slower through that. Yeah, so this week we're going to do the where, and we've got the policy class code. We'll try that. I may actually explore some other variables that are location related, such as they have it by state. And what I told you all is we're just going to pretend those are different facilities in Wisconsin, and we'll see if there's a particular state that stands out. Because when we looked at the outliers, the 19, that were removed, there was a consistency there. If you don't remember, go back to that video. I don't remember which one it was. But okay, so we've got it looks like a more sophisticated table, but once we create it, it makes everything really easy. And this week we're also going to do pivot tables. At the end, I will do a little bit of what I expect for the submission, but for the week one, we had too many students just copying verbatim what I was typing, so I'll just talk about it, and hopefully you guys can come up with your own then. All right, then we're going to do the cause. And we have 2 accident sources in this data set. So we're going to look at both. And then depending on how many entries there are, and again, I'm going to use pivot tables to narrow that down. We may create, I've got the new cause cipher. Which one is this? Here it is. It's all color coded. So I've got different accident source categories, and then I've got this new one I had created. Just tries to condense things that are similar, such as we get all these different types of falls. Well, I just turned it into one thing of slip, trip, and fall. It just kind of helps. It helps compress the data, and I see it as a better way to do it. And then we'll do the new cause analysis right below those other things, and it'll all work out okay. So if you're following along in the assistance document, that's what we're going to be doing. So let's bring this on over. Another thing I would like you all to be doing is centering and saving your work, so that at the end, when I'm analyzing, I can just click from tab to tab and see the work you've done. So I'm going to save what I just did. It just kind of centered it better. And we'll start at the info. So in another video, I'm going to kind of go more into this, and we're going to kind of evaluate the data we have against what they have for a mod and kind of lay it out within the years and what the future years might be. Because as you know, and I had corrected some of you in your assignment this week that you said that the company paid this in claims, but you're incorrect. The company purchased a policy for $2,900,000, and therefore the policy holder paid that amount. And we can kind of, are they paying $2,900,000 per year? No, they're not. We've seen it. We know what it is. I can look at I'm babbling. We're looking at it from a fiscal year, but I mean there was $1 million here in 2020. We only have we don't have 2018, so we can't really estimate it like we'd like to. But it's not 2.9 million per year, and for them to be, over these 3 whatever years, it's not even 2.9 million. So you might be asking yourself, why are they paying so much? Well, we're going to talk about that. All right, let's start at the beginning. So I got the descriptives. I've got both my tables here. I should have them numbered. And then I've got my comments right below it. So what I'd like to do is to be able to click from tab to tab when I grade your end paper or your end document. Click on distribution. It's right here. And I should be able to see comments on the side. Some of you actually put in here the zero or the paid average. That I like that. That was kind of cool. So whatever you can do. Outliers are right here. This is the secondary, and I've got these two things where I can compare them. And the reason I want you to do it like this is that if anybody had the inkling to just watch what I have for these entries and type it in, that's where you're going to get a zero. So I'll randomly go through and click to find out where there are equations and functions where they should be. And if you don't have those, and there's just a number there, you'll get a zero for that. And here is the pre-outlier removal. Again, I can look at it, I can compare it, I can go and click on these and see what's going on, and I'll add some text here as well, and I'll make that bigger. Here's the trend all. Should have comments here. Yeah, why don't we kind of just go through that really quickly? We're already at 6 minutes. So I think we cover this pretty well. What the descriptives do is they define the data set. Okay, so here, let's narrow it down even more. So the justification for doing this study, and this study is an analysis of workers' compensation claim data from June 2019 to September 2022. The objective is to determine the quality of the data, the performance of the safety program, where they should focus to make improvements, and how much the company could save if they're able to prevent those occurrences from occurring. I didn't say that right, obviously. It's too late at night. But this really defines the scope of the data. The context is work comp claim data. Yes. But this provides the scope. What's the scope? It's 2.4 million in benefits paid. There are still 49 claims open at this point. You're letting the reader kind of understand what was analyzed, and then you get into the how. And after you provide the descriptives and the reason why, what we're aiming to do, that's when you start talking about what is workers' compensation and what allows a claim to be set, and all the different classifications of disability. That the medical itself is infinite, but the indemnity and legal they have caps, and that the data when it comes to quality, it's got this. It's not a normal curve. It's more what do they call that? I can't remember the form. I should know this. Asymptotic. That if we remove just a few, a certain percent of claims that were really expensive, things start evening out a little bit. The average and the median aren't as distant as they were, so it seems more representative. That when we trended all the data from a fiscal year perspective, the number of claims appear to be increasing per fiscal year, but the total paid appears to be going down, though the medical paid seems to be consistent, though the R squared is not good. So probably none of them are really, really good, but the average is going down, which basically means the paid amount is going down at a quicker rate than the number is going up. So it's the average, the amount divided by the number. With 19 outliers removed, the forecasting becomes a little clearer. That yes, the claims still appear to be going up, but the medical paid and the indemnity paid seem to be going down. One student made a very astute. He read. I can't remember who it was, so I don't want to give someone a claim when somebody else deserved it. But they looked at the equation from the NCCI website and said it appeared that there was more weight in frequency than in severity when it comes to calculating the EMR. So if that's the case, then it would appear that the EMR still has room. We need to lower the qualifying claims in order to lower our EMR in the future. Whereas the cost, is coming down, but essentially the insurer, the policyholder, they're making more money. So we might want to consider possibly a different insurer, because maybe we can get a better deal, which is something you can do. And then this, of course, was my attempt at the 35. Outliers removed. I didn't like what it was doing. I didn't think it gave us much more of anything. I think we'll stick with the 19. So let's do the where. Okay. So first thing we have to do with the where is we need to create a tab which just has our basic information. I don't think it needs to have the year per se, but it needs to have the unique identifier like we have in the descriptives. Excuse me. I mean, I could do it with the year. Maybe that would be the safest bet. So I'm going to copy and paste my trend all data. Okay. So all my data here. Don't know why that I colored those opens yellow. That's kind of weird. But then I want to delete everything down below here. I want to get rid of everything here. I'm just going to get rid of that line too. I'm just going to go down to an indiscriminate spot and hit delete. I right clicked and I hit delete. Oh, something else came up. I'm going to get rid of that too. Delete. Oh, there's more stuff. It keeps going on and on. All right, are we finally done? What is that? I'll just delete it. By the press of a key, he made it not real. God, I just cannot talk tonight. All right, so now what I have is just the peer data set with our unique identifiers, and I've got the fiscal year and all that stuff. Doesn't have to be sorted any sort of way. So what I'm going to do now is just highlight okay, why don't we call it something? I'm going to call it pivot base. Slopping the base. Okay, so pivot base. And then what I do is I'm going to highlight all the data and I'm going to go to insert. And I'm going to go to pivot table. See, it's the first one there. I'm going to click on it. And I want to do a new worksheet and I want to do everything. So hit OK. And now what I have to do is I have to tell it what I want it to start slicing and dicing or separating. And so let's see here. So what I'd like to know is where. Of course, I should look at the data first, but we're going to start with policy class code. Let's see, class code, here it is. So class code is going to be a row. And as you can see over here on the left, we have a blank, and then we've got some numbers. And then we have another thing that actually calls itself blank. For values, let's see, what could we put in for values? A number? Okay, that is not correct. It's sum. I'm sorry, that was a really violent sneeze. I tried to hold it in and I couldn't. I wonder what that's going to sound like on the recording. That's crazy. Oh, wow. I think I almost blew my face off. So we need to change the values of this. So values is sum. We don't want sum a number. We just want the count. And there we go. Now we got all 625. So it appears that there is one blank space. There's two of these. As you can see, these are the two dominant ones. 8833 and 9040 are, without question, probably going to be our number one and number two priority. Not in that order particularly. Good. We're going to prioritize based on the risk priority number, the percent count multiplied by the percent total paid. And that's going to give us, the higher the number, the higher priority. I wonder if I could do it by total paid and didn't do the sum. Let's see here. What are you doing with me? Uh-oh. Let's get this out of here. Let's put total paid. I don't know if I can do both. Okay, 4. Yep, that's how much it is. And it looks like 8830 is going to be our number one. 78. So we're about 79,000 there. Oh, there's like a 28 and a 30. I wasn't expecting that. That's interesting, though. That's interesting. That's some. Yeah, that's what I'd wanted. I wonder if I can put them both down there. Sometimes you got to experiment with this. Oh, I don't want that to be sum. I want that to be a count. Count. All right. Am I able to multiply these? No, I'd have to do percentages. I don't know if it would let me do that or not. Okay, now I'm just messing around. You do not have to do this. Equal. I don't know if that's a number or not. Divided by that. Oh, really? I mean, obviously I'm going to do this on the page. This is just one way to kind of, oh, that's just too messy. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So these are going to be the labels I'm going to use for policy class code. Now let's see if there's something else here. I'm going to get rid of the class code. Jurisdiction state. Was that the one with the states? Or location number? Location number and row. Oh, hey, there we go. Interesting. It's got a wider spread, doesn't it? So it looks like this may be a possibility. I'm just experimenting right now. Let's see what jurisdiction state does. All right. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, it looks like the Colorado facility. But then we've also got the 118, 105. They got 137. That might be it. So I'm going to do them. I think I'm going to do it all three ways, to be honest with you. And we'll just see which one works best. It's just how it sorts the data and what it looks like. That's a bad way to look at it. What gives us the best understanding, essentially? How would we want to pursue this? How would we want to make the recommendations to management based on where? Where should they focus? That's the thing. I was talking with some former graduates of the program on a tour with my students today. And they asked about this project. It's the one they always talk about. And, it comes down, they still, they use it. They use it, and it doesn't give you any answers per se of what needs to be done. It tells you where to focus. That's what the purpose of this is, where to focus. And it gives us an idea of what the company could possibly safely invest, with an ROI, return on investment, in order to try and prevent future occurrences. So let's go back to the policy class code. We'll do that one first. And it's very, very easy. Okay, let's not say that. It's going to be easier to do the other ones as well. As soon as you get this started and it starts working, it works pretty well. I'm looking for policy class. There it is, class code. So here are my entries. All right, I'm going to leave this. This is the pivot table result. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with all. So I'm going to do my trend all. I'm going to copy it, put it into a new. All right. And I am not going to keep, I'll keep this stuff up here. Of course, this is no longer going to be good because I'm going to be sorting and doing things. I'm going to have to create some more room. I'm going to delete these for now because I can remake them. And I'm going to just make some room. Okay. All right, I'm going to move this to right here. And this is going to be policy class. All right. Let's look back at the other document just to see what we want. Did I hit the wrong one? I did. So we want the policy class code, the count, percent count. I want the paids to go right underneath what they were up above. So I'll just hit, I think I can hit copy. I think it'll bring it over. I'm having difficulty with copy and paste. And I think I have to go 3 over from the medical. So here's the medical. 1, 2, 3. Go down one more. Paste. It didn't do it. Oh, that's just great. I wonder if there's a paste special. That's better. But is it weird looking? It kind of is. It kind of is. So I'm just going to make it so I can see it. And then I'm going to type it. And then I'll delete it. I'm just going to call it class code because that's the way it is here. Count. Percent count. Now I'm doing abbreviations here. And if you're gonna make this professional, you need to type everything out. Too often, students just keep the abbreviations in there, and that's not professional. You need to actually make it so that somebody can look at it and they can determine it on their own. And this is going to be the average per claim. Now, I don't need that either because, I mean, as the ranges change, and I could bring it back over if I wanted. I'll just leave it like that. RPN is risk priority number, and this is the priority. Yep. All right, so delete this. See, now when I click on the cells, I actually have the words in there versus some weird, connecting thing. All right, let's clean this up. Wrap text, center a few things, give it boxes, widen that a little bit. Now, what are these? This is Arial 8. This is Arial 10. Let's go to 8 then. I'm consistent if I'm anything. All right. So now, here's what we want to do. I want to bring over the classifications here. So I'm just going to highlight these. And there's going to be one blank. And so I'm going to have to figure out where that is. But I'll show you an easy way to do it. I'm going to make more room here. Policy class. Under policy class code, I hit paste. I'm going to center these. I think, are they supposed to be 8s? I don't know. Bring this over. Oh, you're kidding me? That's not what I wanted. First I'm going to hit Control Z to stop that. To start making this thing here. All right, and there's going to be one blank, but let's go find it first. And here's how we do it. Here's my policy class code. No, I could visually scroll and pop there. I came across it. It's right here. What I do with these is I just go 9999. That's my dummy code. And then I just have to make sure that it always equals the 625 when I'm working with the 625 data set. All right, here we go. So center that. I'm also going to have totals because I always have to check my work. And you guys have been great about keeping me honest. I don't know what size are these. These are 10s, but that's 8. All right. Whatever. So we're going to count the class codes. I'm going to get the column so I know what it is. The column is M. And when you bring over a table, never include that part because it's just confusing, So equal count if, that's what we're going to use, parentheses. It tells us a range and a criterion. The range is M2 to M626. I can scroll up and see if it goes all the way to the bottom. Indeed it does. Okay, I may cut this one off after I do this. There we go. Now what I want to do is just drag this down. I'm just going to use it in this column here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put $ in front of the 2 and the 626. So when I click and drag it, it doesn't change. There we go. Equal sum. 625. Yep. Okay. Everything is accounted for. Percent count is equal to whatever is in this cell divided by the total, which is 625. We're going to turn that into a percentage. 2 decimal points are great. Center it, drag it all the way down to the bottom because 625 divided by 625 is 100%. Paid medical, same thing, equal sum if, because we've got dollar values, so it's a sum. Sum if medical is U2, I won't sing, 626, comma, criterion. When in that it has that, then we, wait a minute, I did that wrong, didn't I? It starts out M2 to M626. When that is this code, add up U2, I won't sing, U626. All right, let's go see if we've got it all hit. Okay, so 626, U is good, and so is M. Okay, I think we're good. Hit return. And I'll turn this into currency. Please use currency and not accounting, everybody. It looks so much better than if I do this. I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. Don't do it. I hate it. Stupid. Don't. Bad kitty. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to freeze the M and the 2, the M and the 262. So now if I go down or right or left, it'll always just be that group right there. Then I want to put the $ in front of the R. So when it goes up and down, it changes the policy class code. But when I go left or right, it stays in column R. And then with the final adding up, we just want the 2 and the 226 and the 626 to stay the same. But when we go to the right, we want it to add up, you know, everything that's underneath it. So did that, bring it down to here, scan it over, equal sum. See, wasn't that easy? Easier. All right, now we can compare our numbers. You see, it's right there. Comparing them, everything works out. Percent total paid is equal to whatever's in that cell divided by the total, which I'm going to type in 2451403. That's just right there. I got to turn it into a percentage. Percentage, 2 decimal points are perfect. And I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom because I'll get 100%. And there you go. The average per claim is simply equal to the total paid per claim divided by the count. Get rid of the pennies, center it, drag it. And I drag it all the way down to the bottom because we want it to be the total divided by the total. And if you compare, see, it works out right here. This and this should be the same. Let's do the RPN. RPN is percent count times by percent total paid. Risk priority number. Risk is simply probability times severity. And so it's sort of a proxy for that. So I go equal the percent count multiplied by percent total paid, hit return. It does that. What you have to do is just get rid of the decimal points. And it'll fit. All right. Yeah, that's good enough. I'll scroll it all the way down. Now, these numbers don't mean anything. All they do is the higher the number, the higher the priority. That's what it means. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, I shouldn't do this one because that'll obviously be the highest. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort this table here by, or actually I'm going to highlight the data. That's right. I'm not going to use the filter. That's right. That messes it up. I'm going to highlight just this data. Okay, so I've got class code data all the way down to RPN data. It's all highlighted. Now what I'm going to do is go up to data and hit sort. And then it asks me, what do you want to sort by? And I want to sort by RPN. If it's not there, you may have to click off of the headers. It gets weird sometimes. And I want to do largest to smallest. There, everything stayed together now. My priorities are 1, 2, and due to the magnitude of the difference between 16 and 0.25, I only have 2 priorities. Now you might say, well, why would you stop there? Let's bring back Mr. Pareto. Remember Pareto, the Italian statistician and economist, made popular by Geron? All right. So these are the number of class categories, and we're going to try to use that 80-20 rule. The significant few and the insignificant many. And I'm going to say top 2. So the top 2 class causes are equal to, so I'm going to add up what they represent. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Well, I can't do that. Equal that plus this. Oh, geez, come on. This plus this. So I'm adding up what's in those 2 rows. And it's more significant when we get to the percentages. There we go. All right, so we've got need a percentage here. These are all dollar values. Currency, get rid of the pennies. Another percentage. Where are you? There you are. And what percent do we have? What is 2 out of 11? So equal 2 divided by 11. All right, let's turn this into a percentage. Without any pre-planning, 18% of the class codes account for 84% of the count of number of claims and 92% of the total amount of benefits paid. And what do we say for that? Thank you, Mr. Pareto. I can't tell you how many times I've done this analysis, and it's not always perfect. Okay, we've got 18. You're like, no, it's not. It's close enough. What this basically demonstrates is stop drilling. You hit oil. This is all we need. The 20% of the class codes accounted for over 80% of the number of claims and the benefits paid. So that's what we're going to focus on. Those are our priorities. Do you see? Now, when we take out the outliers, there may be a little bit of a different story. And do I want to do that now? I'm going to do that real quick. So this is policy class code all. Oh, come on. Class code. Oh, I'm going to call it class code. I'm sorry, everybody. Class code all. All right. Oh, what didn't I do? I didn't save my work. File, save as. I hope you guys are doing this quite often. So now we're in week 3. And we're doing class code. Class code, everything else the same, save. Hopefully you guys are doing that. Obviously don't leave this here. I did that as a joke. And let's see here. So here's what I want to do. I want to copy what I'm doing. Add a new tab, paste. I'm going to turn the top row. I'm going to hit data and filter. We are going to filter by total paid, high to low, largest to smallest. And you see it makes the outliers, the 919 outliers bubbled to the top. Why? Because that's how we selected them. And the numbers are over here to prove it. So what I'm going to do is highlight the rows that contain them. Control X to cut. I'm not deleting them. I'm cutting them. I'm going to put them down below here where they were before. Paste. Now everything up here. Now, unlike when we do the scatter plots, this automatically updates. Let's check it just to be sure. Let's zoom it in here real quick. See, this is what I love about Excel. It's so quick when you do things like this. So 606, 606. 696, 696. Do you see how everything matches up? You know, that's how we know it's correct. Did the RPNs change? They did. It was higher before, but that's about a 10-to-1 difference. That may be enough. I may actually add a third priority. But the thing we have to do now, is it sorted the right way though? Did anything change? Oh, it pretty much stayed the same. Sometimes they flip around, and that's probably going to happen with some other stuff. The top two, so 20% represents, now it says 81, but now we're operating off of a different base. So it's actually equivalent to, should I add the third one? So top 3 equal to 1, 2, and 3. I'll bring this over. We may not need it. I'm doing this as an exercise. You don't look like you exercise. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's supposed to be a percentage. Can't crack jokes and do math. Or Excel, whatever you want to call it. Can you hear my daughter laughing downstairs? I don't know what she's doing. Mom, what's a meatloaf? We want it now. Name the movie. All right. If you guys don't know that movie, there's no hope. All right, so here's what we do. The percentages are low here, right? However, that's because that's when it was based on 100%. So it was what it was. What it is now, it's out of 37%. So what we do is we go equal what it is now divided by what the new base is. We probably have to get rid of some of the decimal points. It's 80%. This is already at 80, but really what it equates to, equal 81. So it's 81% of 96%. And so you divide by the other one to get a normalized representation. I'll use that term. I don't know if it's right. So it's actually 83%. And that's at 80%. We don't need to look at that. You know, I just don't see the value in it. So again, we're just going to go with the top 2 priorities. And again, this is with the outliers removed. So this is class code 19 outliers removed. And I have no idea why that popped up. There we go. So if we wanted to see what it would increase to, we take that amount divided by 37 and reduce the number of decimal points. I don't know why it does this, Excel. So it went up to 92. Equal 3 divided by 11. Okay, so we're at 27%. We already have 80 here, so there's no reason. This is going to be our choice. Insert shapes. This is our choice. Hell yeah, Pareto. So what did we find out? What did we just determine? We're at 35 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up quick, and then I will get to the next areas here next. I'm going to probably keep in some of last semester's too, but or give you options. So policy class code. See, this is a job code. The EMR, if you'll recall, I'm sorry, the base policy. Base policy amount is equal to the sum, I'd put sigma, of the class code rate, which where do we find that? WCRB, right? Multiplied by payroll for that class code, payroll, divided by $100. You guys remember that? And then so you have class code 1, class code 2, class code 3. So you multiply that stuff out and you get amounts. Jim Jones had covered this, and so the more the rate, the higher the contribution to the base premium. Base policy premium. I should say base premium. That's what it really should be. And this is what's calculated by the WCRB. And then what you do is to get the adjusted premium, which is actually what is charged, that is equal to the base times by the EMR. So you've got the base based, so it's payroll, how much you're getting paid divided by 100 multiplied by the rate. You add up all those for all the class codes here. We don't know what the payroll is, so we can't calculate it. That's the base premium. It's calculated for, each company gets it, or each carrier. What they do then is they apply the EMR times it, and that is what the company is going to be charged. Cleaning my glasses. And that, my friends, is elementary. So that's how it's figured out. So in one of the videos this week, I'm not sure which one, I'm going to play around with some of the numbers we have and see if we can't get some sort of insight as to how much the company, or where the company should focus, what the company should focus on, should they want to be reducing, the EMR number, and hopefully they do. Yeah, hopefully they do. So that's a quick lesson there. This would be our priorities. We've got 2 priorities. We chose 2 priorities, even with the outliers removed, because the top 2 gave us the Pareto ratio we were looking for, the 80-20. The significant few and the insignificant many. Thank you, Mr. Pareto.